Hi, my name is Christina Noor. I am an accredited fire safety engineer and I am self-employed at CJK Fire and Safety, which is a fire engineering consultancy in Cairns.
Alternative alarm technology. Fire risks and alarm technologies for those with sensory disabilities. Fire safety is a universal concern, but the risks and response challenges faced by people with sensory disabilities, particularly those who are blind and/or deaf, are unique. The cues that non-disabled people rely on to detect and respond to a fire are visual, seeing smoke, flames or flashing lights, or audible, hearing fire alarms and occupant warning systems. For those who can't depend on these senses, early detection and safe evacuation can be far more difficult. The population affected by sensory disabilities is significant and increasing. This growing demographic highlights the need for fire safety systems that are inclusive, reliable, and effective for everyone. For people with hearing loss, the greatest danger is simply not knowing that a fire has started at all. Standard audible fire alarms emit high-frequency tones, typically between 3000 and 5000 Hz, which are ineffective for many people with partial or profound hearing loss. This is particularly critical during the night, when even people with mild hearing loss may remove hearing aids to sleep and be completely unaware of the alarm. Many fatal residential fires occur during sleeping hours. People mistakenly think that they would wake up to the smell of a fire. However, a study from Brown University in 2004 concluded that typically, smell will not wake someone during deep sleep stages. For a person who is deaf or hard of hearing, there may be no warning until the heat of the fire reaches them, often far too late to escape safely. Even when awake, important safety announcements, such as instructions not to use a lift or to follow a particular exit route, can be missed if they are delivered solely through public address systems. The delay in receiving this information can increase evacuation time and heighten the risk of harm. For people who cannot rely on sight, detecting a fire in its early stages is also difficult. Everyday tasks such as cooking or using heaters can pose higher risks as visual checks that might prevent a fire, like noticing a pot boiling dry or a heater placed too close to curtains, are not possible. This can result in accidental ignition and relayed detection. The smell of smoke or the sensation of heat are cues that appear later in the fire's development, reducing the available time to escape. Once a fire starts, navigating to safety can be challenging, especially in unfamiliar buildings. The sensory cues that visually impaired or blind individuals depend on can become overwhelmed, and high decibel smoke alarms can make it difficult for them to process audible clues and instructions effectively. Alternative alarm technologies can be divided into 4 categories: audible, olfactory, tactile and visual. They have varying levels of effectiveness for different types of people. Tactile alarms include bed and pillow shakers. These are vibrating devices that awaken users by connecting to fire alarms. Widely used, they are effective, though less so for older adults. Vibrating wristbands are portable and wearable, but potentially uncomfortable for prolonged use. Air movement and hearing dog robots are emerging solutions that utilize fans or robotic nudges for tactile alerts, showing promise in limited trials. Audible alarms. High-frequency alarms are widely used alarms, usually greater than 2000 Hz and generally incorporated in smoke detection devices, and are not effective for people with hearing loss. Low-frequency alarms at around 520 Hz outperform high-frequency alarms for individuals with partial hearing but remain ineffective for the profoundly deaf. Olfactory alarms are fragrance-based alarms, for example citrus or peppermint sprays. They provide a novel approach but are limited by allergies, nasal congestion, and inconsistent effectiveness. Visual alarms include strobe lights. Though widely available, their success depends on proximity and proper installation. Excessive flashing rates may disorient or trigger seizures in susceptible individuals. Fire safety relies on both environmental design and personal preparedness. The safest environments are those that use a layered approach, combining multiple types of alerts. In workplaces or public buildings, accessible evacuation routes, tactile and high-contrast exit signage, and multi-sensory alarm systems should be part of the building's fire safety plan. Smoke detectors should ideally be paired with clear, intelligible voice messages that provide specific evacuation instructions, rather than relying solely on a repetitive tone. At-home interconnected alarms can be installed so that when one detects smoke, all audio, visual, and tactile alerts are triggered at once. There are portable personal alerting system products on the market that consist of a combination of strobe light, bed shaker and connected smoke alarm. For those with sensory disabilities, fire safety depends on more than just having a smoke alarm. It requires a warning that can be detected and understood, and a plan that can be executed quickly. Practicing escape plans and safe behavioral precautions are critical, as technology alone cannot eliminate the risks. The right combination of inclusive technology, accessible design and proactive preparation can make the critical difference between escape and tragedy. Enhancing fire safety for those with sensory disabilities depends on continued research into emerging technologies and smart integrated systems. Updates to building codes and standards and public education campaigns to build awareness and preparedness. By combining these efforts, we move closer to ensuring fire safety for everyone.
This presentation was brought to you by CJK Fire and Safety. Don't forget to like and